Hey, Jimbo, how you doing, man?
Fantastic, man. How
Oh,
you doing?
well, you'll be looking a lot better when I get rid of your octopus of global control logo that you had in the corner of the screen there. How you doing, dude? Long
Oh,
time, no play. What's been
I know.
happening, man? I was getting a bit worried about you there. Usually I hear from you at least 50 bajillion times a day. So when Jimmy goes dark, Kev gets worried. And little did we know, Jimmy, but I tell you what was going on with Skype yesterday, man. Everyone's around the world just went really mad.
Yeah, it was actually. I started having problems the night before. I'd gotten a call from somebody and it didn't register on one of my machines, and the other machine, I saw the missed call, but messages that were sent out just never got, and no one ever saw them until like a day later or something.
They just went into the ether, Jimmy. They're
Mm-hmm.
gone. Messages from beyond. I wonder maybe if people in another timeline, in another dimension, another reality picked up on them. Before we get into today's very exciting space news, Planet 9, Nibiru, and mysteriously disappearing planets. I kid you not.
Are
What
you
did you
serious?
make of what happened here on KBS towards the end of last week? Because it was like we fell into some kind of Doctor Who temporal time hole, man. We had Chris Anatra coming on about the Mandelas, the holographic nature of reality, and then we took that one stage further, or 10 light years further, the next night on Freaky Friday with Philip K. Dick. And we had the Council of 12 guys on Saturday. Dude, whoa, it's been a heck of a ride. It really has. What have you made of it, man?
I know. It's been like a roller coaster ride through the quantum beach boardwalk here, man. I'm telling you right now. I've been going up and down right here with the Kev Baker Show, man. It's been really incredible. I mean, yesterday with Charlie, I mean, the discussion you guys had, I won't mention it, but man, that was fantastic. I mean, you guys are great together too, man. You guys are like a couple of peas in a pod, man.
I love that, dude. I really do. It's like I
Me
say,
too.
it's like we say online, and even when I was his first guest on his podcast, he says it himself, and I think it was his mum that said to him, just like you two dudes are just too alike. It's quite scary how alike we think alike, we laugh at the same really, 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 really sick kind of subjects and really inappropriate jokes and stuff like that. And like I say, I love working with him and his mind. Well, there comes the bonus, right? Because I tell
He's
you
quick.
what, a really good researcher, Jimmy, really, really good. And some of the stuff that Charlie got into last night will lead into the main show today. But let me
Sweet.
first thank all of you for being here to check out what me and the madman Jimmy are saying. I see Sidvich in the chat room. Yes,
It's
indeed.
it.
We've got King in there, Ben, DJ Rustler, Bearded Traveller, Jason, our first paranormal. I like that new name. It's almost like we're on a new timeline again. Sam Rodriguez. Big shout out to you, Sam. We have got Oldritz in there. Littlefoot. Yes. Awesome. Dad's been in hospital for 2 weeks. Oh, now he's too sick. Sorry to hear that, Littlefoot. I truly, truly am. Jules, David, Justa. They're all in there. Lee Roar. Lance, I like that. This is your personal favorite name, Jimmy. I know it is. Rhesus Christ. You told me that you'd seen that name in there before and you like that, right? I think you're muted, man. Try talking to me. I can't
It's
hear you.
good. Yeah, it's good that I was muted because I was laughing.
See, I knew
Yeah.
you'd laugh at that name.
Yeah, no, I love that. That's a great name, man. I saw that last week.
No, it's pretty cool. And listen, I'd love to get through every single chatter. We'll try and do it before we leave today, but we're only going to be here for 45 minutes. Jimmy's going to join me throughout today's show on TFR. And of course, I know a lot of you come to listen to TFR on YouTube. You just jump on over to TFR Live on YouTube, or alternatively, go over to the chat room at tfrlive.com. And yeah, I've got some really cool stuff for us to get into today. And it kind of ties in with what we were talking about last night, what's going on in the world right now, and how it even really fits in with what I was talking about with Chris Anatra and Philip K. Dick. No, I didn't speak with Philip K. Dick. Not in this reality. I think I figured out a part of the game. Anyway, moving on to some of today's topics. And Jimmy, you know me. Sometimes you shake my head. I love to talk about space. I love to look for all the little green men. Once upon a time, I was as avid a Nibiru hunter as you would ever come across. Used to sit there, look for any telltale signs of any mysterious, unknown objects in the sky.
Me too.
I became the boy who cried Nibiru. And I ended up, now anytime I see any link that refers to second sun in the sky or, oh, I just don't even go there, Jimmy. I've been there, I've bought that t-shirt, right? But as today's topics progress, there's a lot more talk going on right now about the possibility of that thing, call it what you may, Wormwood, Nibiru, Planet X, something out there this way comes. So keep that in mind, folks. We're going to discuss that as we go out throughout today's couple of stories I've got for us. Not long ago, Jimmy, you'll remember this, I was excited as a kid in a candy shop when there was a study from Caltech, two proper scientists talking about the possibility of some as of yet undiscovered object lurking on the outer of our solar system. And of course, they called this Planet 9, right? It was Mike Brown and Konstantin Batygin who came forward from Caltech, and really, they sent ripples throughout the scientific community. And there's been various papers on that topic since then. There's been an effort to see if the world's radio telescopes can chase down, track, locate said object if it exists. Now, we all know I'm a big fan of the mysterious universe, and today they have provided an update on this very story. Unfortunately, it's not the exciting kind of update that I would want to be bringing us, but let's take a look because it says, James, a new case against, yes, a new case against the existence of Planet 9. So it says, again, is it there? Is it not there? Can you see it? Now you do, now you don't. So it says here, and it's not that long. I don't want to read too much of this, folks. We'll just get the bare bones, the basic idea. And myself and Jimmy will discuss that and move on to an even weirder space story. When we can finally get back to having family gatherings again, won't that be a wonderful day? Three things that will still be, or perhaps even more, taboo to discuss are politics, religion, and the existence of Planet 9. Especially if other party guests are still mourning and or protesting the demotion of Pluto to a dwarf planet status. Well, I'm still a bit butthurt about that, I must admit. But this rule applies for Planet X or Nibiru as well, both of which can prompt saucer throwing of the plate kind. However, if you're brave enough to test the subject, a new study may help defend the position of denial or doubt in the existence of Planet 9. So let's get ready. And it says, we test whether the population of extreme trans-Neptunian objects detected in the Y4 Dark Energy Survey data exhibit azimuthal asymmetries which might be evidence of gravitational perturbations from an unseen super-Earth in a distant orbit. So basically what they're doing is they're looking for the movement of the stuff in the Oort cloud, the Neptunian kind of stuff going round there. Is anything pulling on these things? Anything like inexplicably been pulled out of orbit? That's basically what they're trying to say with all their big words. And what they find, Jimmy, what they find is, to really boil it down into a nutshell, that although they can't rule out the possibility that there may be a Planet 9 out there, from the data that they've analysed, there's actually nothing too much out of the ordinary. And any of the perturbations that are seen on those objects out there on the edges of the solar system, they can actually be accounted for with the objects that we already know about. So, is this the end of Planet 9, do you think?
Well, it sounds like there's the end of Planet 9 before it even got a chance to get started. I mean, I don't know. I mean, the magnetic perturbations. Are there any perturbations on Uranus?
Only now and again. Only now and again. Yeah. Usually when I feel hard done by. Oh, you were talking about planetary? I don't know. Ching, ching. You see,
How dare you?
you deserved it for that. You deserved it. I tried to keep it all scientific. I tried to keep it all serious. And you go and hit me with a Uranus joke right off the bat. What's that all about? I'll tell you why I am butthurt over Pluto's demotion. Because if Pluto was still a planet, and hypothetically, if this thing had been a planet, you know what that would have made it, Jimmy? It wouldn't have been planet 9. It would literally have been planet 10. And 10 in Roman numerals is what? X. Planet X. So let's talk about Planet X, right?
Are you serious?
Are you serious? Is he
I could
serious?
be.
Is he talking about asteroids and things like that? Because there's a lot of people right now. And we've said on the show, in a more general sense, Jimmy, that people are thinking there's something more coming. There's impending woo-woo on the way, right? Right? We've said that. We've said that. People are picking up on something, yeah? Well, some people are going towards possibly some incoming asteroid / dare I say it? You ready? Nibiru. What's your thoughts straight off the bat, Jimmy?
I don't know, man. I was a Nibiru man back in the day, I have to say. I was like you. I got caught up in it. And I have to admit it. But admitting that you're having a problem with it is its first step towards recovery, Kev. So I did end up recovering from my fear of Nibiru. And now I've had, I don't know, a couple good years clean and sober from the whole Nibiru. But I hear there may be some perturbations. Is there something going on with Nibiru again? Has it reared its head?
I'm only hearing talk of chatter on the tinterwebs, my friend. Now, somebody that I used to be on a network that he helped to set up called Shepherd and Bellis, I started covering or started to hear about Shep and the Intelli Hub. Would have been round about the time of the Gulf oil spill, Jimmy. Okay? And I hadn't heard too much from him recently. But he's actually back on the scene now, IntelliHub. They're doing podcasts on YouTube. And I want us to take a little listen to a question that he poses in a 1-minute video. Now, I just want people to listen to what he's got to say. And then myself and Jimmy will come back on the other side. And we'll add our witty response and commentary to what we hear. What we hear? What we hear? Did I just say what we hear here?
Nice.
Nice, dude. Let's take a listen.
What if your government knew that an asteroid was inbound and was going to strike?
Now, I haven't added in the sound effects of Space Invaders and things like that before people think, oh, come on, Kev. You just that's making this guy look a little bit silly here. Not me, not my doing, okay? This comes from the Shepherd and Bellis channel. Okay, so let's take a listen. Just in case people thought, Jimmy, I'm sitting here on my fancy soundboard doing funny things. I'm not, okay? I'm not.
No. Yeah.
What if your government knew that that many asteroids were inbound and were going to strike? Or a planet killer, or a continent killer, or a city killer?
Okay, let's pause it there. And it's only a 1-minute video. I'm going to drop it in the chat for people to check out. Go and check out what Shep's up to, what he's talking about. Like I say, he's got a new podcast as well. But Jimmy, let me ask you that very general kind of question. What do you think your government would do if they knew something like that was incoming?
They'd get in the bunkers. They'd get everything squared away. They'd make sure they had everything tightened up before they said a word. And then, at the end, they'd probably say, well, good luck.
Yeah, I don't think they would tell people. I don't. I think it would cause too much mass panic.
Yeah.
I really do.
It would look kind of like what it looks like right now, to be honest. I mean,
Now,
you know what I mean?
Yeah. I could, Jimmy, listen, I am not ruling anything out, okay? I
Me
am
neither.
ruling nothing out, nothing
Me
at all,
neither.
because
If I see
absolutely.
one more biblical sign, I think I'm going to go over the edge, man. I mean, they're
Seriously?
coming fast and furious.
Seriously? Are you serious, Jimmy?
I'm dead serious.
At this point, Jimmy is dead serious. But do you think then again, okay, let's go more general again, away from Shep asking that question to the bigger picture. You do like to look at things from the ancient past, Jimmy, the tablets of Thoth, things like that,
Mhm.
right?
Right.
And we hear about these cataclysms that do come from time to time. We also, if you look at religious scripture, you can go to the Bible. You got wormwood, something that comes in, turns the waters sour or whatever it says. Probably triggered every Christian out there by butchering that. But
Bitter.
there's many, many different kind of stories of cataclysms and things going on. We talk of cycles. And something that would go in a cycle would be a planet, an asteroid, something in space, right? Because if it's got an orbit about it, that would make it cyclical in some way. But I want to ask your take. I mean, Sitchin, was he off his head when he was talking about the Anunnaki? What do you think, man, in general? I'm not asking you to say when it's going to arrive, but do you think there's something out there worthy of so much attention?
Yeah, I do think there's something out there, to be honest. I mean, I don't know exactly what's happening with it, but what I do know is there was the comet that was coming in, Comet Atlas. It's split up. Now supposedly it's in 4 chunks. Then this other comet appeared out of nowhere, Comet Swan. No one ever heard of it before. It's here. And then on the 29th of this month, there's a 4-kilometer piece of rock that's going to be flying in our neighborhood. And the 29th one is the one that I think a lot of people have gotten their hairs on the hackles on the back of their neck standing up, is the 29th one, just because it's like I said, I think it's 4 kilometers, and there's some sort of trajectory putting it in the vicinity of Earth. But I mean, there's some dude that's got a telescope that starts looking at all these ones that everybody starts squawking about, and most of the time he shoots them down. So we'll see. I don't think he's done any work on this one yet.
Okay, so this here, and this is the one you're talking about. And Jimmy, I have seen an abundance, like an overabundance of people talking about April the 29th. Didn't know what it was really all about. Here says a huge 2-mile asteroid will be visible from Earth this month and is deemed potentially hazardous. So this is dubbed I'm not reading that bit because it's exactly what we just read in the headlight. And it's dubbed 1998 OR2. The space rock will be so big that amateur sky gazers should be able to spot it as it streaks across the heavens on April 29th. And NASA has classed the object potentially hazardous, although experts do not believe it will hit our planet. Instead, OR2 is expected to sail safely past at a distance of around 4 million miles, or about 17 times the distance from the Earth to the Moon. Now that might sound like a long way, but it's close enough that NASA classes the asteroid as an NEO, a near-Earth object. And just so you can sleep easy tonight, folks, don't call me a doom-monger. Scientists are keeping a very close eye on it just in case. And I know, if NASA have got an eye on that, you people out there will be sleeping tightly tonight, right? You know it. But Jimmy, no, this is a new one. I hadn't really looked into this, but like I said to you a moment ago, April 29th, it's on forums. I see it on social media. I take it this is the thing then.
Well, I don't know, man. When I first saw this thing, I thought to myself, what do if you had this final date, you knew that was going to be the date that you were going to cut out. That was it. Like, what would I be able to do between now and then? You know what I mean? Like, where would I?
You literally started planning for the end?
Well, no, I was just thinking, like, in the situation that we're in.
You went all Harold camping on us and started, like, the end is nigh?
No, but I was thinking about if you knew the day that you were gonna die, okay, and you knew you had like 30 days left. It's like, in those 30 days, what could you do? And I mean, given the situation we're in right now, you couldn't, it's not like you could take a credit card and go run around and do your bucket list. You know what I mean? It would mostly be about whatever you could do personally for those 30 days to make up for whatever you did in life, man. Because I mean, swear, looking back on life, there's a lot of places where I made mistakes that, wish I could go back and say, hey, I'm sorry or whatever. You know what I mean? Just stuff that was stupid that really didn't mean anything. But, at the time it was, so intense. So, yeah, I don't know, man. I didn't go full Howard Camping, though, but I used to listen to his show.
But you really sat and kind of had a thought about, wow, what would it mean? I've never really sat and contemplated mortality and put a date on it quite as, final as that. But wow, man.
Supposedly the AI can, if you're interested, you can go type your stuff into the computer and the AI will tell you what day you're going to die.
Okay.
If you're interested. Based on what it knows about us. So but that's what I mean. It's like this thing right here, like the virus type situation. It's more like something could happen to you, but the majority of it, you're gonna survive. So no one really thinks that, hey, that's it. But I did for a bit, man.
So while everyone's rushing to get back outside, get back to normal, it's going to be like that dude. Remember the dude having the smoke break over in Nigeria?
Yeah.
Remember him just stood there having a smoke on and whew, right over the top of his head, man. Meteor. Is that what we're saying?
Yeah.
Folks, I don't know what's going to happen on April the 29th, but I'll be happily reporting all about it on April the 30th. Be sure to tune into that show, okay? That's all I'm going to say.
And that's how it always is with these things, man. No matter what you think about them, the date starts to be, the date gets set out there. You move closer and closer to it till finally the day shows up and you wake up the next day and everything's the same way as it was the day before.
Tell you something though, Jimmy. I usually go look at a number of websites, as you know. And now that I think about it, and I'd have to go and do the math if I wanted to be like scientific about this, but in general, I think the past year, 18 months, been a hell of a lot more stories about asteroids and comets and interstellar visitors, Oumuamua, Comet Borisov that we have as well. It feels like, and there's two ways of looking at this, right? We're getting more space news, and the total skeptic would say, well, yeah, Kev, we've got more telescopes looking out there. And I can't argue with that. But at the same time, I can also put my foot in the other camp and say, wow, why is it getting more active up there? Should we be concerned? Is there maybe something out there flinging things our way in what Clyde Lewis calls the sweeper effect? Now, I need to quickly add an alert box to this stream because Sidvich has dropped something in there. I need to do it real quickly. There we go. If it doesn't come up in a second, I will be able to play it in a moment. What do you think, Jimmy? What do you think? Are we getting what Clyde calls the sweeper effect?
Well, it seems like something's been going on. There was just some stuff, I think, yesterday or the day before down in Arizona. Some people saw some stuff and, described the airburst as it went like boom, but it just sucked everything up. The way they described it.
How did it go, Jimmy? How did it go?
What's that?
How did it go? How did the noise go? The airburst?
It was just like boom, and it's.
You see. You like that? You like that?
Exactly.
Wanted to give you a bit of sound effects, man. I did.
The way they described it, though, it sounded like it sucked up the oxygen everywhere when it exploded, which to me it sounds like exactly what an airburst would sound or feel like. It would just be like sucked up, just for that second of the explosion. But yeah, there's been a whole bunch of these, man. Apparently, I didn't see this myself. I didn't see the video or anything, but apparently there was a whole bunch of these coming down somewhere over, I don't know where, in India or somewhere over there. They thought it was the end of the world, or it might have been Brazil. I don't know, some other continent somewhere. But they thought it was the end of the world. There were so many of them coming down. So I don't know, man. It might have been this thing you were saying earlier. I didn't know it was time for it, but what's going on right now? Isn't there some kind of shower or something going on?
Yeah, the Lyrid meteor shower, Lyrid, every April. It's well catalogued, well known, and I wonder if that's adding to some people. Not everyone's aware that that's happening. You weren't, it's you either know or you don't. I happen to see it because my mum sent me a story. Probably she thought I'd be able to go outside and look, but when you're in the city, you don't see much, But yeah, the Lyrids are out there, and folks, if you're into 2 seconds, if you're into this kind of space news, and I know a lot of people are, a lot of people ain't, but one of the guests I've had on in the past, probably one of the leading scientists I've had on the show, is Dr. Brian Keating. Dr. Brian Keating, he actually just emailed me there while we were talking, and he was asking, to tell people about his website, let people know he's doing a lot more work on other projects right now. So check that out. Really good book as well, Losing the Nobel Prize. So definitely don't mind giving Brian a shout out. And talking of Brian, not that Brian, but our own Brian, Sidvich. He chipped in with a Streamlabs super chat. Thank you very much, Sidvich, because as you and everyone probably knows by now, we're on the naughty step. Yes, April the 29th is a magnificent and milestone day for KBS. Not because of the asteroid, but that's when they allow me to go back into the queue to wait to get our memberships back. Still irks me that we lost our memberships. And tomorrow we'll be doing the pre-show stream on KBS 2. So the Kev Baker Show 2 channel. I'll hopefully be able to drop a link for that before we go away today. And I'll be doing the stream on there tomorrow. If Jimmy's around, he'll be with me. If he's not, he won't. But
I'll be here.
We'll be on there. We won't have as many as the 209 that we've got right now. But
Nice.
Always that glass half full, Jimmy. And maybe it's always been meant that we go and start to build up the backup anyway. Because it's always better to have something building and growing on the back end instead of just concentrating on the one little baby here on the main channel. So we'll be over there tomorrow. But Brian, yes, I was going to play Brian. Here we go.
Brian is the Nibiru. Lee Veltman said so. #Dank Alliance. You
and your #Dank Alliance. Yes, Mr. Veltman as well. Been quite impressed with his shows he's been doing. I think he's a friend of yours, Jimmy. I heard Epic on there the other night as well. We've read the documents.
John Brisson.
Yeah.
John Brisson, yeah.
Seems a nice guy. I've only recently come across that channel. Seems pretty cool.
Good dude, man. And let me tell you something, strong researcher.
Good channel, dude.
Yeah, he's a super strong researcher. I really love John. He's a great dude. I highly recommend anything that he does. Like I say, he puts a lot of work into all his reporting.
Yeah, I'm gonna give the people a link to that channel. I like this channel. There you go. I'm not gonna say I agree with everything because I haven't watched everything, but everything I have seen, I have agreed with. But it's inevitable. You're not going to agree with everything. But my point is, folks, we need to get to a point where it doesn't matter if we've got disagreements on one topic or another. Don't go throwing the baby out with the bathwater, as they say. And
well, he's got a kill shed out back at his house. It's called the kill shed.
Is that where Popeye and Joe Joseph are going to work 24/7 when they get the wood chipper on the go?
It could be, yeah. He's got plastic on all the walls. I mean, that's why this one guy started calling it the kill shed. He's got plastic draped down over the walls. But I mean,
well, before we go away today, and you take us into the realms of your serial kind of killer pals that you kick about with online.
Well, no. I mean, when he goes after an issue, I mean, he brings out the chainsaws. Like I'm saying, he's a super good researcher. So is Lee. Both of those two guys together, like you were saying.
I spoke to Lee for about 3 hours one day. My head melted. It all fell out my ear. There was too many connections and dots, even for the quantum calculator here to compute what was going on. But I knew he was onto something. It was just way too all deep and interconnected and woven tighter than a nun. Yes, indeedy. So moving on to our final story of today, Jimbo. Before we change gears and go into the main Kev Baker show, it's more space-related news. It's a quick headline, a little blurb about it. But what if I was to tell you that there's crazy little disappearing planets out there? Well, not really. What's happened is, right, they discovered a Jupiter-sized exoplanet. You know how we hear about these things more and more and more and more and more every week now, Jimmy? Again, because there's more and more and more and more and better and better and better and better telescopes looking for them. Well, one, they got wrong. Yes, they got it wrong. No Love Boat music for these scientists, no. Because what they were actually looking at was a big pile of crap that was left over from the possibility that something else collided many moons, pardon the pun, ago. You like that? Ching, ching, ching. Yes. So that concludes our space woo news for today. But let me go back to the weekend, Jimmy, and it's still space, it's still woo, and it's still all related. Did you catch the show that I done with the guys from Wales Paranormal Now? They were talking.
I did.
What do you make of that Council of 12 stuff, Jimmy? What do you make of it, man?
I thought that was a fantastic show. Those guys are out of this world, man.
Yeah.
And that came from an open line phone call into the show, right?
Yep. Jared, on-off listener. And when he told me he's on-off listener, I think he felt bad. I'm like, hey, dude, it's what we do. It's like we all go through our phases. You've got your favourite host, and then he says something, and you hate him for a month. But then you go back, and it's your favourite host again, right? Until he says something again. It's the way we all are. It's human nature. I don't take these things personally. And the reason I bring it up, Jimmy, is because we talk about the changes going on in the world right now, and we see them physically all around us. Look at us. We're all gated and grounded, right? Big changes have already taken place. But there's changes on many levels, like multiple kind of dimensions, call it what you will. And be it the boys that came on from Wales about the Councillor 12, or some other information I've found independently, or, well, I can't really talk about because I was watching it with somebody else, but remote viewing, and it all ties in with what they're saying. These two data sources don't know anything about each other, yet their information's tying in. And then there's other people out there that do channeling and all the rest of it, and they're all talking about the same thing. They're all talking about these big changes that are coming, dude. Like cosmic changes. Like things that now, the changes we've seen thus far, it's nothing. You think they're all onto something? Or
I do.
A big part of me does. A big part of me does, dude.
I mean, if I didn't know better, I think we were getting hit by some rays right now. I mean, for some reason, the last couple of days, I've been really super sensitive, man. And I mean, I don't know if there's going to be an earthquake or something's going on, but
do you pick up on them?
Yeah, I do. And there's just been some sort of, I don't even know how to explain it. It's like an energy field, or it's like everything feels thicker. I don't know if anybody else is experiencing it too, but there's something going on cosmically. There's an invisible force out there floating in from space. I don't know. It's weird, man.
Yeah, it's very weird. A
lot of people have been reporting ringing in the ears too. Lots of people.
Really?
Mm-hmm. I've been noticing a lot of people across different planes mentioning it, that their ears have been ringing. Have yours? Mine have. So I'm not sure. Not
I've
today.
not really
But
picked up on that, but I'm looking at the chat room. Well, a hell of a lot of people agreeing, you know. Spidey senses are tingling. You know, it's talking about your spidey senses. People saying we ain't seen nothing yet. Mr. Mensa. Littlefoot. They both go around Uranus and wipe out the Klingons. You got a laugh out of Anne. Whoa! Hang on. April 22nd, 2020. Anne laughed. Mark it. Mark it
Yeah,
on the
it's like-
Georgia Guidestones. She laughed. Oh, this is like a trumpet of the apocalypse getting a laugh out of Anne. I know
I
we're
said
in
one
dire
more
times now,
biblical
Jimmy.
sign was
If I wasn't shitting myself already, I am shitting myself now. Oh, you better believe it, dude. Where's the ejector seat? Phone the pensioner. I need to know where the ejector seat is, dude. I want out here. Whoa!
That was the last biblical sign that's going to eject me into full Snake Plissken mode.
Snake Plissken. I forgot I've not done your bloody, what do you call it? Photoshop yet. Whoa.
And people
Hang
in
on.
the chat
A
room are saying
PSN friend wanted me to say Metallica and hey to Tiger the Cat.
Hey, Tiger the Cat. Oh, big shout out to everyone on the PlayStation Network with Sid Vitch right now. Now, I know you people over there on PlayStation Network are absolutely choking. You are chomping at the bit to get KBS onto PSN. But here's the problem. Once I join you fine gentlemen on the PlayStation Network, all of the audience here, they're going to get pissed. Because I'm going to be on the PlayStation Network far too long. And Anne knows. I can feel her looking. She ain't laughing now. No, they're trying to hook me back into the PlayStation Network, Jimmy. I'll just spend all day gaming.
Well,
I mean, not all day, Anne. Not all day.
if you got to do something, you might as well do something productive.
Man, Brown is
might
on.
as well sit there. VR. I was watching this thing yesterday, and Google Glass crashed and burned so hard that I completely forgot about it. I was watching this weird documentary yesterday, and somebody had a pair of those Google glasses on. I was like, those don't look that bad. I wouldn't necessarily mind having a pair of those.
Hang on. You specifically told me, and in fact, you prefaced what you told me with one of your hearty little giggles when I was talking about contact lenses and glasses one day, and you said, Kev Baker, you didn't say it quite like that, but you said it in your snaky kind of way, Snake Plissken kind of way. Kev, that ain't ever gonna happen. And now look, I'm asking a set of glasses. They're quite cool, Kev. You see how easy it is. See how it comes along,
Well,
Jimmy.
I was going to make a point of that, too, and I'm glad you brought that up because, back when they came out, right, I was like, I've been conditioned, I've been brought along now so far down the road here by all these tech giants. They've left me a little breadcrumb trail, and now here I am.
Brother, you don't know.
2020.
You don't know. This is like this. I should really have kept you going there, and it would have been the perfect intro to tonight's show, the main show on KBS, which we're going to get ready for in just a moment. And you can tune into that at tfrlive.com or over on the YouTube channel. They've got a chat room there. I've got both places open in the chat. I know Jimmy, he loves to, hang about in hashtag lurk mode in the chat as well. He's got his own Cougar Club in there. Ladies of a specific age, I will give out details later on how you join Jimmy's Cougar Club. It's a very, very elite club indeed.
Hey, I like women my own age. What's wrong with...
Dude, did I for any second there, not one morsel of my being was criticizing your antics.
No, I know. I'm just saying, I'm just saying.
As a fellow player in the game, I admire from afar, my friend. I doff my invisible hat to you.
Well, all I can say is...
a good-looking guy like yourself back in the day, still got it going on, Jimmy. It's that Tash, man.
I know, but the thing is you're happily married, man, and so, so...
Now, people are asking to see my mankles, which will never happen. No, even if we had super chats. There's not enough money in the world. You could super chat for Kev's mankles, but people are asking mankles. You know what mankles are, and those things I crack up at and make a fool of myself over when I can't get past them in the town. I want to shout at people. Anyway, almost got triggered
See?
there. People are wanting to know how they can listen on YouTube. You go to TFR Live, press the search button, and you'll find the TFR Live channel on YouTube. I'm sure one of our mods or listeners, I hope, can drop a link in before we get going today. And I'm going to get going in a minute, folks, because Jimmy really kind of laid his own trail of breadcrumbs
Did I?
from Silicon Valley to where we're going on the show today. And I've got a feeling it could end up being one of these shows. It's either going to be epic on the Freaky Friday scale, or it's going to be absolutely disastrous on the Red Dragon kind of equivalent. And anyone out there thinking, what the hell's a Red Dragon? Count yourself lucky. You don't know. I tell you, I wish it was a Mandela effect, but it's not. But we're going to lay something out. Last night we looked at plans from the near past. Tonight we're going to look even further back in time. But how it could all be connected to stacking the deck. And how it's all kind of quantumly connected to how events play out in the real world today. Oh, it's going to be a doozy. What if they knew how to hack the Matrix, and they've always known how to hack the Matrix? Only ages ago, say 60 to 100 years ago, they had to rely on older technology as opposed to what they've got today. And with that said, I don't want to give too much more away, but we're going to be hacking the Matrix from about 24 minutes from now over on tfrlive.com and over on the TFR Live YouTube channel. So, Jimmy, with that kind of left out there in the ether, in my own way, stacking the deck towards us having that perfect show tonight. You looking forward to it?
I am looking forward to it, man. Like I was saying, I'm gonna see it. Look, I mean, you know, those Google Glass, they don't look that bad.
Jimmy's ready, man. He's going on.
The only thing wrong with them is they're clear. I mean, if they were tinted or dark, I'd be all over those, man. I'd go get a pair and just wear them around.
I must admit, when I first seen Charlie Robinson yesterday, there was part of me wondering if they were like part of some alphabet agency's toolkit. Like, you know, like Bond type glasses. He's wearing glasses now. I'm thinking to myself, have the Illuminati got to him? Is that a sign? Has he got the Men in Black glasses on? But
you know what? I'll tell you what, though, when those things came out, man, here in the Bay Area, people were wearing those around, you know, because they were beta testing them. And they had some girls up in San Francisco. They were up in a bar and they were wearing those, and people got violent about it. They literally smacked those glasses off her head, because they were taking, you know, because it's taking video the whole time, you know. And so people got in this bar, they got all upset, and that was pretty much right after that happened is when Google just just dropped the whole thing. And it's kind of strange because, I mean, I think the Geordie Star Trek thing is probably where we're going, man. You know, and I can't wait, to be honest. I can't wait till some more of this technology comes down the pipe.
I know it's coming. It's coming, ladies and gents. So we're going to be looking at that. In 20 minutes from now, I'm going to let Jimmy go. He's going to do what he's got to do before he joins me on the show. But, of course, you know what it means when we have no big name guest. And I say that with the utmost respect to Jimmy. He knows he's not a guest. He's a part of the show. He's a co-host. See, he gets that. And what we do when we don't have that author, that researcher, that somebody we've all heard before is, well, we want to hear from you. And we open up the phones and the hotline will be open for you to have your say on KBS. Now, you can say whatever you like. You know, it's open lines. But when we do get into the show, I think you'll see the direction we're going, and perhaps it might lean your question towards what we're talking about. But if not, and it's pure woo, and it's absolutely off in another direction, that's okay. That's okay, because it might just be one of those positive insertions we need in the timeline to try and stack the deck. Yes, indeed. So we'll be stacking the deck very soon, Jimmy. Are you looking forward to it? Are you
I am.
looking forward to it, Jimmy?
I've got my cards right here.
Looking forward to it, Jimmy.
I am. I've got
Snake
my cards.
Plissken, Snake, I want you.
Oh, no, you can't start doing card tricks, dude. You already
I'm
look like
just-
you live in a magician's cupboard.
I'll make it disappear.
All this bloody missing is smoke coming up behind you, man. That and somebody
give me a
sawing
minute.
in half. Oh, man.
Give me a minute. I got smoke. Don't worry.
Dude, if I could buy you that ejector seat, would you do that for me at the end of one show? Just pull the handle and like, the last thing people see is the soles of your shoes.
Yeah, I'll do it.
Oh, you see, that's what I like to see. People laughing in the chat room. That is what it's all about. No matter how long we come here, what we talk about, I promise you, I will leave you feeling a little bit more positive about the world. I can't change it, but I can hopefully kind of stack your deck in a more optimistic and comedic type way. So on that note, Jimmy, love and light, kumbaya, all the good things.
How dare you?
And Greta, and even Greta. Keep your mind open. Keep looking for the woo, but not to the point where your brain turns to black goo. Okay, Jimmy, I forgot, dude. Say your goodbyes to the Cougars, man.
See you guys in a bit. Don't forget, we're taking phone calls later. Call in. Don't be. Come on.
Just imagine the smoke, ladies and gentlemen, like Jimmy Copperfield. With that, he was gone. Jimmy, you look like you're poised. You're poised with your finger ready to press a button to reset the Matrix. I tell you, folks, what a character. Jimmy Jeans, what a dude.